Selma has migraine headaches. How old is Selma?
20.
20?
Yes.
You in school?
Yeah, university.
How long have you had these migraines? Huh?
I've had migraine ever since I remember myself.
Do you remember a time when you didn't have them?
No. I got diagnosed with children's migraine when I was around 5. And my parents say that I had been getting stomach cramps. That's like part of the syndrome. Like that's children's migraine. Like it shows up in the stomach, not the headaches.
Okay.
But the headaches started developing around puberty.
I'm sorry, the head started?
The headaches
Started.
developing around puberty. Around the time I hit puberty, yeah.
Oh, well, what was it before that?
Stomach cramps.
Stomach cramps.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. When they happen, when the migraines happen, what do you experience? What's it like for you to have a migraine headache?
When I experience severe migraine headaches, I have a tendency just to close all, like to try to eliminate all sensory input, like lights and smell and noises. I try to just like stay in a dark room where it's silent and.
You got to get to a dark place and protect yourself. Huh? Yeah. How long do they last when they do happen?
It varies. Sometimes it can last for a couple of days, but sometimes it's just like 3 or 4 hours. But
hours to days. Huh?
Yeah.
And how often do they happen? Once a year, once a month?
No, like 2 or 3 times a month.
Really?
Like severe migraines, but
aside from the migraines, you're a pretty happy lady?
yeah. Pretty
A lot of
much.
friends?
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them male, probably.
1 or 2, yes.
Are there any other significant sources of stress in your life?
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean...
Family?
Yeah.
Based? Okay.
Yeah.
And how long has that source of stress been there?
All my life.
Always?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to give you a little bit of education here about physiology, okay?
Yeah.
What are you studying in school?
Pharmacology.
Pharmacology.
Yeah.
Well, you may already know what I'm about to say, but in case you don't. How far in pharmacology, how far along are you?
I'm just first year.
First year?
Yeah.
I can't comprehend how anyone could go through what you have to learn in pharmacology. Talk about memory work. Good God.
Yeah.
You must have a good one. Well, I want to talk about smooth muscle. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you also know that smooth muscles are present throughout the body, regulating pattern of blood flow? I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
And also, did you know that the glands themselves are smooth muscle?
Yeah.
You did? Huh?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
some of them are different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, smooth muscle is functional every place. Smooth muscle has the capacity to create pressure by various means. For example, if smooth muscle were to occlude the flow of blood excessively, we'd have high blood pressure. Mechanical kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, smooth muscle also exists in our brains. Did you know that? Well, did you know there's blood in the brain?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, of course, capillaries.
Of course. Well, that blood is regulated in the same way by the action of smooth muscle. However, even the smooth muscle high in the back, up into the neck region, smooth muscle regulating blood supply there up into the brain can create pressure. Now this seems kind of odd at first glance. How could, smooth muscle exists around the arteries, but does not exist around the veins? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how could smooth muscle around the arteries create pressure? All it can do is shut off the flow mechanically. How could that happen? Well, the explanation is really very simple. It has to do with the erectile tissue, which exists in many places in our bodies. If we get a stuffy nose, we think of it being maybe foreign material in there. It isn't. It's erectile. It terminates in there or inflated through the action of smooth muscle. So how could smooth muscle around the arteries cause those to inflate? Doesn't make sense, huh? Well, the answer is very simple mechanics. Blood flows through erectile tissue. If the blood rate going in exceeds what's permitted to go out, a small hole here and a big hole here, then it's going to generate pressure. That's true of all erectile function. And that's the mechanism of creating pressure in your mind, in your brain. Headaches, whether migraine, tension, or otherwise, are the product of pressure. Well, now, if you had a brain tumor, that's going to create some pressure. It's going to create some owie.
Makes sense.
So, bypassing the possibility of a brain tumor, there's got to be some other explanation because it's happening. And it's happening, I believe, by the action of smooth muscle. Make sense? Logically?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the smooth muscle systems in our body are regulated in highly sophisticated ways. It's not just mechanical response. It's controlled in our mind. I don't think we can consciously even comprehend that system. It's so sophisticated. And, of course, our minds, our thinking, our mental performance is affected by things outside of us. We say that when a patient is depressed, the patient shouldn't make serious decisions because their ability to think is compromised. And that's true. So emotion, negative emotions especially, can compromise our ability to think clearly. Many things can compromise our ability to think clearly, including influences from past experiences. Does that make sense? Let me give you an illustration. If you encounter a student, I don't care what grade level, a student who has difficulty in one subject but does well in the other subjects, that student has learned that subject is difficult. It's not a matter of capacity. It's not a matter of ability. It's a matter of a self-learned barrier. I say self-learned, that's not accurate. It's a learned barrier that is the consequence of life experience. And these consequences sneak up on us without our being aware that they're happening. We know about phobias. Well, a person who is afraid of the dark learned to be afraid of the dark. Common sense statement. But the person who is a phobic never, ever knows why they're phobic. I can tell you why, but it's not accurate. They don't really know. So we need some way to find out about that. They were not, that little kid in the dark closet with his big brother terrifying him, was learning to associate fear and dark. He wasn't aware that that was happening. But that was the effect, nevertheless. So a lot of things, a lot of our behaviors, beliefs, and limitations that we accumulate in life happen without our awareness at all. We don't know what's happening. And yet the effect is there. It's in our minds, somewhere, somehow, some form. It's there. That influence is there. Well, this technique that I propose to guide you to use here is based on the theory, the supposition, the belief that we are conditioned by our life experiences extensively. I think any of us could have been conditioned to be anything. Anything. I don't think there are any limits. And that means, carrying this line of logic forward, that means that those migraine headaches and the stomach cramps that preceded the migraine headaches are the consequence of experience. Are you open to the possibility that that's true? Good. Good. I believe, not just believe, I am absolutely convinced that we all have a level of intelligence that we're not consciously aware of. That intelligence is in that head right now. It's a level of intelligence that is in which you have abilities that you don't have consciously. I don't even know, can't even guess at the extent of those abilities. But I think it's in that domain of your mind that the regulation of smooth muscle is controlled. I believe it's in that domain of your mind that insight and inspiration comes forward. I think dreams really come from that domain of your mind. They certainly don't come from consciousness, right? So, the task here is to engage that higher level of intelligence of yours to identify the actual cause of these migraine headaches. If this theory is correct, if these headaches are the consequence of past experience, and you don't consciously know what that is, and you don't, even though you think you do, you may think you do, you do, at this higher level of intelligence, have the capacity to find out. So it's my job to guide you. I name that higher level of intelligence central. Ever heard that word?
Yeah.
Okay. What's been your exposure to this technique? What has been your exposure to this technique?
Well, I just I watched a video and read up about it. What's
Okay.
a video of you.
Okay.
So that's